One of the bigger things in the world of pro wrestling in the last few years, AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling has had a partnership together for their Forbidden Door shows and more. And while there's been a working relationship between both WWE and TNA in recent memory, this week a multi-year partnership has officially been announced between WWE and TNA Wrestling that will reportedly see stars from NXT and TNA cross over on each company's shows, as well as potential appearances on premium live events. So, yes, they officially put out this statement here, pretty much just wording it like I just said. They're pretty much where NXT talent, especially, could appear on TNA pay-per-views and television programs, and vice versa. Even going so far as to say some select WWE premium live events. So we could even be getting, these TNA wrestlers and stuff on like bigger WWE shows. We got a Royal Rumble coming up here in a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised to see some TNA talent there. We've had some appearances from TNA talent in the Rumble matches in years past. So I can definitely see that happening once again. But this statement doesn't sound like it includes the main roster of Raw and SmackDown just yet, but I guess it could. There's nothing that says it doesn't, include them. It's just mostly focused on the TNA and NXT aspect of it. But based on what typically happens to the other promotion in these WWE partnerships, I'm at least a little skeptical, but hopefully WWE has turned over a new leaf now that Triple H is in charge of creative and not Vince McMahon. If it was still Vince, this would be solely to destroy TNA wrestling, but I'm optimistic. Apparently, I'm going to have to start paying more attention to NXT and TNA since there's so much good wrestling out right now. It's kind of hard to do, but both companies are already promoting NXT for this Sunday's TNA pay-per-view Genesis. So any thoughts on this partnership right now? Kind of already been happening to some degree anyway.
Yeah, but TNA is the ones who are going to make out better on the back end of this, because it's, whether you believe it or not, their wrestlers are going to get more exposure from this. So like, look, this is not, WWE's already picked out a couple guys from TNA they want, and I think Joe Hendry's one of them.
Yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, like he's been the standout so far. So like,
it's the way the song goes. So yeah,
if they get anybody like him and what's her name, Jordan Grace, she was in last year's Rumble.
I think Mickie James was too.
Yes,
for a little bit there, yeah, and she had a good showing, which I was kind of surprised by. It's like I said, sometimes these old partnerships in the past, WWE, we kind of use them to kind of bury the other company's talent a little bit. But Mickie James got a good, solid showing. She didn't win, but at the same time, no one expected that. But she was in there for like good 20+ minutes. So, oh yeah, I'd be fine if she won too. That'd be fine. I don't follow TNA and NXT as much because, like I said, there's just so much pro wrestling to keep tabs on at this point. It's hard to, but may have to start doing so.
But AEW doesn't bury the old WWE talent.
Yeah, depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, I guess that's a matter of opinion.
See, that's the argument I was going to bring up. Now, seems kind of like the thing that me and Eric talked about a couple months back, where I mentioned the possibility of it would be awesome if a giant pay-per-view would come about and AEW and WWE superstars would clash.
I wish.
That would be kind of cool.
That's the two companies right now that ain't going to get along right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it wouldn't happen.
I'm saying that right now. I think that would be something that would be good for both programs. I would watch it.
That's saying WWE and WCW back in the day would have had a joint production.
Yes.
Never did happen until WWE bought out WCW, and even then, they kind of screwed up the invasion thing a little bit.
I hope it doesn't come to that with AEW. I hope AEW is able to prosper as its own company.
No, it will. Like AEW would be fine. Yeah, AEW has its own concerns and worries out in-house that doesn't involve an outside entity like WWE. So I would.
And WWE have their own issues as well. And one in particular, I thought we'd talk about coming up here next. Exactly, what's going on with Corey Graves. Corey Graves was in the news this week. There's been a shakeup in the WWE commentator roles, trying to adjust.
Not a shakeup. Everybody knew this was going to happen.
Corey, I understand, but what I'm saying is, yes, I'm not saying it like that. What I'm saying is they constantly move around these guys back and forth to different shows. They've been doing it a lot over the last couple of years. That's all I mean. I don't mean it's like unexpected.
No,
but they're trying to adjust to the new Netflix deal and SmackDown going to 3 hours. Corey Graves has jumped around as a commentator on both main roster shows a bit, after his career was cut short due to injury, and he became very good at commentating, in my opinion. Recently, with Pat McAfee returning to Raw and Michael Cole moving over to that show because it's the A show on Netflix right now, and Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore, or Tessitore, however you say his name, being moved to call the action on SmackDown, Corey Graves was placed on NXT, where Wade Barrett was for a long period of time. Well, apparently, that did not sit well with Corey Graves, as he put out this tweet, and he has since deleted it, though. He wrote, "Imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding, that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something dream adjacent and being pretty effing awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor," I'm assuming he means going to the Netflix show, "being told you're not famous enough for your own job. Just in case you've wondering or been wondering where I've been." So, thoughts on this? Does he have a legitimate gripe? Should he be disappointed for not being able to enjoy the fruits of his labor on Netflix? Or, I mean, does he feel justified because it's a spot he feels he earned? I mean,
you can feel what you want, but like, this is NXT's call. They knew who they wanted on there, or not NXT. I'm sorry, Netflix.
Oh,
this is a network decision. Pat McAfee, whether you like it or not, is literally one of the biggest commentators, sports cover, whatever the fuck. The man is energetic as shit. His commentary is hilarious. He's entertaining as fuck. Plus, him and Michael Cole have a great rapport. Like, and I'm not trying to shit on Corey, but at the same time, bro, it's not about you, big dog. Like, you still think you say NXT like NXT's a shit show. Like, you went back to the fucking minors. NXT is killing it right now, and has been for a while. Like, so what are you bitching for? It's not like you can't. Whatever. Like, it is what it is, bro.
No, I hear you. I
mean, take a back seat and shut up.
I mean,
it's not even taking a back seat. He's
not really.
He's not going anywhere. You're still employed at the same fucking company. You're just on a different day now.
Yeah, and that's probably not the issue, being on a different day. I don't think that was the best issue at all. I don't know if there's a stigma like amongst some of the talent or the commentators, like NXT is a step down, but it shouldn't be if there is that stigma. Because, like you said, they've been doing a great job from what I understand. I've not been watching them as much as I used to under the old black and gold with Hunter under the helm. But from what I understand, Shawn Michaels has been doing a great job as the creative booker over there. So, yeah, if that's the way Corey looked at it, I think, maybe he should have rethought that. But he did delete his tweet. Now, I don't know if, he was, disciplined or possibly suspended or anything like that. But it definitely did sound like he was genuinely unhappy this week. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But do you think he'll be able to come back, or do you just think this could be something too big to maybe would drive him away from the company?
Look, my honest to God hope is maybe this is an angle like they did with AW did with fuck is his name? Nigel McGuinness. Not being ever told you can't wrestle no more, whatever. But for him, maybe this is it. And maybe Pat is going to be that guy that he wrestles. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Seems far-fetched, but at the same time, you bitching about nothing. Real talk. Like, you act like you lost your job. You still got a job. You get, if I'm not mistaken, you get paid the same as you did whether you work NXT or whether you work Raw or SmackDown.
And I'm sure he's getting paid a pretty good chunk of change compared to a lot of us out here.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong about Pat McAfee. Well, sometimes certain people think Pat McAfee is a bit of an acquired taste, and some people may not like his shtick. But you're absolutely right. He is far more well known in the world, just in general. So he's going to have that name recognition that unfortunately Corey Graves does not have with the mainstream casual audience for certain. So I understand the move, especially when Pat McAfee is available, and him and Cole have great chemistry. Not to say him and Corey doesn't, but at the same time, it makes absolute sense for Corey or for Pat McAfee to be on Raw. Now, you could maybe argue Corey could have been on SmackDown with Joe Tessitore, but maybe they feel like him and Wade Barrett have better chemistry. That's always a possibility too. And as much as I've not been a big fan of Joe Tessitore or however you say his name for a while, I think he has improved since he got over. For sure, it took him a little bit of a time, but I think it's gotten a lot better. So,
how many years has he announced for WWE?
Corey Graves?
Shit.
Yeah,
it's been a few.
It's
I
been
wouldn't
a few
say
years.
I don't think it's been a decade yet, but it's been probably on the over 5 or 6 year mark. I'd say at least, maybe longer.
Now, every time I've ever talked or listened to Pat McAfee, it's been in a sports kind of environment. It's not really been in a WWE. I've heard his WWE commentary, and Brandon's right. He is very energetic. He's what people like to hear. It's not a dig against Corey, though.
But Corey took it that way, apparently.
Corey took
Apparently
it
he
that
did.
way. He took it that way, but that it doesn't seem like it was your number two, man. It's you have more experience doing this. Give these other younger wrestlers.
No, it's not even that. What it is this. They're on Netflix.
And that's
you know what I'm saying? Like, they're on Netflix. Why wouldn't Netflix
Tyson
want to
Logan
have
Paul
the
match.
guy who? It's the same reason why The Rock was there to open the fucking show. Like, he's the biggest. Like, you think of wrestling nowadays, you think of a couple fucking people. Rock's up there. I promise you, The Rock is one of them.
Oh yeah. It's all about drawing mainstream attention too.
Yeah, and that's all that shit was.
I mean, that's what it is mostly. Mike joins us in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. He says,
That's
just a thought.
saying.
Who says Corey Graves hasn't been secretly cleared to return to the ring, and this is an angle to set up a return? The only reason I don't think that's true, I mean, you may be right, but the only reason I don't think that may be the case is because he deleted his tweet. I mean, I guess if it was an angle, you probably would have just left it up, right?
That, or you could play into the fact that there was disciplinary action. So, like, now it seems like they're playing favors with Pat, and yeah, you can make it into a story even with him deleting the tweet.
That's a very good point too. So, yeah, do you think maybe that is a possibility? Pat McAfee versus Corey Graves.
It may be, but I don't know for sure.
This is
you for real butthurt over this.
Well, it could be any show.
Wild.
Pat McAfee's on Raw. Corey's kind of been on both shows at one point, but I think Pat's even been on SmackDown too.
Right now, which one is drawing the best numbers? Do you guys know?
It would be Netflix. It'd be Raw.
It'd be Raw.
Yeah. Raw. Okay.
So more homes have Netflix than they do USA Network. And that's not to say SmackDown is failing or anything. It's just because more people have Netflix at home, and I think they're drawing like 4-point-something million, and I think SmackDown's still around the maybe 2 million range or maybe a little less. It's just the way it is when it comes to cable compared to Netflix streaming service for sure. But yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see if this develops into anything more or if this was a legit shoot and he wasn't happy. But I guess time will tell on that one. Thank you for checking out this clip of the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our live podcast almost every single Friday night here on the channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.